European Union foreign ministers expressed support for France in its submarine order dispute with Australia during the UN General Assembly in New York on Monday. Australia said last week it would scrap a $40 billion submarine order from Paris in favor of a U.S. and British deal that's enraged France. It includes at least 8 nuclear-powered submarines with U.S. and British technology and a trilateral security partnership under the name UK-US. After a closed-door meeting at the annual UN gathering of world leaders, European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell said more cooperation was needed among leaders. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian gave the U.S. a dressing down earlier on Monday, accusing U.S. President Joe Biden of continuing his predecessor Donald Trump's foreign policies.
Hello, we start with breaking news from Sudan, where the Sovereign Council says there's been a failed coup attempt. The plotters reportedly attempted to take control of the state radio facility.
Well, there are still a lot of questions about which group exactly is behind this and the purpose of the coup. What we do know is that about 3 hours ago, Khartoum woke up to what seemed like a pretty normal morning, with the exception of that, one of the bridges leading to Durman, which is the twin city of the capital, Khartoum, one of those bridges were blocked, and that bridge leads to the arms depot of the military. Now, there were a couple of tanks standing in front of the bridges, preventing civilians from crossing over, and there were a lot of by those people who were trying to cross the bridge as to why there were tanks blocking those two bridges. Then came the report that there was a coup attempt and that the soldiers were taking over the arms depot and that they wanted to take over the state television and radio.
Ahead of the 76th session of the UN General Assembly, Pakistan called on world powers to release Afghan assets. Remember, copious amounts of cash, bonds and other assets belonging to Afghanistan remain frozen in bank accounts and treasuries in the West, including the United States. These assets are worth billions of dollars and were put on an indefinite freeze in the wake of the Taliban takeover of Kabul. Citing the economic crisis in Afghanistan, Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said that the most urgent priority was averting this economic crisis to spiral further. Qureshi highlighted concerns that the nation was on the verge of a humanitarian catastrophe.
A volcano erupted on the Spanish Canary island of La Palma on Sunday, sending lava, smoke, and ash into the air from the Cumbre Vieja National Park in the south of the island. The municipality urged residents in a statement to exercise extreme caution and stay away from the area and off the roads. Those in nearby villages were told to go to one of 5 centers to be evacuated, and soldiers were deployed to help. Video footage showed fountains of red molten lava shooting into the sky, and plumes of smoke could be seen from across the island. Authorities had already begun evacuating those with reduced mobility as well as some farm animals from the surrounding villages before the eruption. There had been more than 22,000 tremors this week in the Cumbre Vieja area, a chain of volcanoes that last had a major eruption in 1971 and is one of the most active volcanic regions in the Canaries.
Traffic at the border between Kosovo and Serbia at a virtual standstill. Riot police were deployed in the north of Kosovo after hundreds of ethnic Serbs blocked roads leading to border crossings on Monday. Protesters were reacting to the decision by Kosovo authorities to ban the entry of cars with Serbian license plates. Drivers who want to enter now have to register for a temporary Kosovo plate, which is valid for 2 months and costs €5. Serbia's president condemns the move and warned that Belgrade would respond with economic and political measures.
Good evening. Selfish tradies have brought shame upon our proud city, storming the West Gate Bridge and attacking police in the heart of Melbourne. The unruly mob, fighting against the vaccine, which will give us the chance to reopen, brought streets to a standstill. Dozens were arrested as they led police on a dangerous game of cat and mouse.
A sea of protesters swarmed the West Gate Bridge, one of Melbourne's busiest freeways, brought to a standstill, tradies jumping on the back of trucks, others clinging to moving cars. Thousands of motorists trapped in their vehicles.
They look dangerous. It was really quite frightening.
Bike riders in fluoro taunting police and harassing innocent motorists, at times encouraging them to join in.
Our former President Jacob Zuma's lawyers expected to argue for a protracted postponement of the arms deal corruption trial. This is now that he has been placed on medical parole.
Indeed. Well, we are seeing quite a number of security vehicles outside the prison, and as you mentioned, quite a grandeur entrance by Arthur Fraser, the National Commissioner for the Department of Correctional Services. He arrived in a convoy, including this G-Class Mercedes, which came through, and a number of other vehicles belonging to that department. And he entered through this court entrance that is now being blocked by an armored police vehicle, which has a trailer with barbed wire. And it's interesting because we're not expecting any supporters today, because the former president is not expected to be here in person because of his health concerns, but still there remains a police presence outside court.
Panicked students, along with their teachers, surveyed the damage after a fire gutted a dormitory at the Ofafa Jericho High School in Kenya's Nairobi County. About 40 students were hospitalized after inhaling smoke on Monday night. The blaze destroyed personal effects belonging to the learners. Medical authorities said most of the hospitalized students were suffering from breathing complications, but that they suffered no burns. There was no immediate word on the cause of the accident. School fires are common in Kenya. Authorities have blamed arsonists and poor safety protocols.